Hey there, it's Dusty with yet another story for you. This one is, I caught my fiance hooking up with my sister while I'm pregnant, and tomorrow I'm exposing everything at our family gathering. Also, what do you think she means by exposing everything? Did she film it? She's gonna play it on the big screen? Or she's just gonna tell people? Either way, this should be good. I found out that I am pregnant and everything fell apart. January 6th, 2025. Shit's recent. I never expected life to look like this. 2 years ago, I was in a different mindset. I was focused on little things. Back then, I felt so comfortable in the day-to-day routine that I overlooked how fragile my future really was. He and I met about 3 years ago. At first, I was not ready for anything too serious. I already had my daughter and was juggling everything alone. But little by little, I let my guard down. He seemed so patient and steady, helping me with my little one without having any children of his own. I fell for him slowly, then all at once, trusting that I was finally building the loving family that I dreamed of. He encouraged me to stop using protection and birth control, which led to this pregnancy. For example, he would often say things like, "We should think about having a child someday." Even saying he considers my daughter as his own, and gradually we reduced our use of birth control methods. The pressure made me hopeful about expanding our family, but now I realize that he wasn't genuinely ready or honest about his intentions. His sudden withdrawal has left me feeling manipulated and unprepared for the situation. That was before last month. That was before the positive pregnancy test. When I saw the results, I felt a wave of panic and excitement. I wanted to believe he would stand by me, even be happy about the chance to add another piece to our family. But he did not seem happy. He grew silent. He told me he was not actually ready for another child. He was worried about money and our future. He said maybe we should think about other options. Hearing that felt like a punch in the chest. Red flagging right now, which I should have done it the very first words of the story, but red flagging it now because he slowly convinced her to stop using protection. Like he played the long game here. He made this happen. And then, hold on. Hold on. Now our entire routine is off balance. We barely talk. My daughter has noticed and keeps asking why he is suddenly so sad or quiet. I try to stay calm for her, but my mind is spinning. One moment I am crocheting while she colors, and I glance at him hoping for some sign of warmth, but nothing. He looks away or changes rooms, leaves the house without explaining. The next minute I feel tears spill out. I remember how alone I felt raising my daughter by myself until he came along. Am I back to that? Will I have to do it again, only this time with 2 children? More red flags because OP was at a stable spot and was happy raising her daughter, and then this douche canoe wormed his way in and slowly got her to open up, slowly created this scenario, and now has just completely destabilized her world on purpose. I love him, but this distance hurts me more than I can express. The shock of it is unreal. He was the one who used to laugh with me. He used to place a gentle hand on my daughter's shoulder when she learned new things for the first time and teaching her. That sweet, playful version of him seems to have vanished overnight. I am stuck not only fearing the practical details of a new baby, but also grieving the deep sense of safety I once had with him. I keep replaying the moment he told me he did not want another child. I feel betrayed, embarrassed, lonely, and so sad. I do not know how to move forward. He rarely shares what is going on in his head. All I see is a giant wall between us, which might be permanent or might come down only if he decides he wants to let it. I do not have grand answers, just confusion and an endless swirl of questions. My daughter is the light of my life, and I feel guilty for letting my sadness leak into her world. But how do I pretend everything is fine when it's not? How do I plan for a new child when the father is suddenly distant? It is like the ground beneath me is crumbling, and I do not have a safe place to stand. It helps a little to write it all down. Maybe someone will understand. Maybe it will remind someone else they are not alone. Right now, I'm just hurting, missing a version of my life that I thought was guaranteed. If you made it here, thanks for reading. I hope that one day I can share a better update with you. Until then, I'm just trying to get through the day without letting the heartbreak swallow me whole. Before we get to relevant comments, damn. And yeah, your kids know, they don't know what's going on, but they can tell something's going on. They know your vibe. And the intuitive part of your brain is real, and it emits frequencies. You radiate vibes. I hit myself in the head when I did that. Sorry. Listen to you over there coaching me about how to not be awkward. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Respectfully, if he's told you with his words and actions how he feels, he knows what it's like when they're here from his relationship with your daughter. I wouldn't waste any more time waiting for him to magically change his attitude. OP, I understand how it feels to look back and realize we never truly hashed out the details when it mattered, and now everything is up in the air. It hurts even more when the person you trusted decides to withdraw right at the moment you need them to speak and be honest. It's like I'm walking on shaky ground without any clear sense of how to stand firm. I have tried so many times to read his cues, thinking he was coming around since he made comments about maybe someday having another child, but suddenly, once I saw that test result, his whole demeanor changed. Now he's cold. He barely acknowledges what is happening, and it leaves me wondering why he cannot just speak plainly. He never tells me, yes, I want this, or no, I do not. He leaves me guessing, waiting, and I feel like a fool for hoping. It is such a lonely place to be, stuck in this limbo where I cannot openly celebrate a baby, or even properly mourn the loss of the relationship I thought we had. Deep down, I still keep a spark of hope that he might finally step up and realize we are in this together, but I cannot count on that. The hardest part is knowing that I may have to do this alone. The realization has been hitting me every time I see him slip into another room, every time he turns away from any talk about our future. It makes me feel so isolated, like I'm just the problem he wishes would vanish. I gotta say this, with OP going through everything that she's going through, still one hell of a writer. Commenter 2, literally, what did you have to talk about? Because this makes zero sense. Don't have another kid unless you don't mind being a single mother. OP, his behavior initially made me believe he was supportive, but now I see that he was misleading me all along. Thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts. To clarify, he encouraged me to stop using both birth control and he stopped using condoms, which led to this unexpected pregnancy. This pressure made me feel manipulated and unprepared for this situation. Over the past year, his actions and casual mentions gave me hope that he was considering a child with me. However, his sudden withdrawal and lack of honest communication revealed that he wasn't genuinely interested in continuing our relationship in that capacity. Accepting that he won't be there to support us has been incredibly painful, but I'm focusing on what's best for my daughter and myself. I'm determined to stay strong and navigate this situation one day at a time, even though it means potentially an abortion. Okay, we'll dive into the update now. Update January 13th, 2025, 1 week later. I have reached the edge of what I can bear. I'm 28, and I've been with my fiancé for just over 3 years. We live together with my 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. 3 weeks ago, I found out that I'm pregnant again. At first, I was overjoyed, naive enough to think we were finally creating the stable family I had always wanted. He grew distant the very next day. He ignored my excitement, started coming home late, and kept his phone glued to him at all times. I began noticing strange calls and those discreet social media notifications that vanished too quickly. My gut told me to investigate. I almost wish I had not. He has been secretly hooking up with my older sister behind my back. She was the one I always tolerated, even though she drags drama wherever she goes. She would hug me when relatives were around, pretend to be the supportive older sibling, then turn around and badmouth me to her friends. I never imagined she would crawl into my life this deeply. It felt like a slap in the face to read their messages calling me clueless for not noticing. Wow. Or red flags. I told her about the pregnancy before he was honest with me about his doubts, and they joked about how stressed I would be, raising another child. My sister bragged that our entire family thinks she is more interesting and more popular sibling. Meanwhile, I'm just the quiet one who apparently deserves this. I don't know if they are still meeting in secret or if they just get a kick out of hurting me. My fiancé denies everything whenever I confront him, says that I'm hormonal, that my imagination is running wild. My sister keeps messaging me, telling me that I should keep my mouth shut and stop being dramatic. Well, yeah. Of course they're gonna gaslight you into no, you're just crazy. You read those messages that you read. You made all that up in your head. I'm done hiding my anger. My mother wants me to talk it out calmly, but how do I fix something so broken I can barely breathe? My fiance thinks I will just accept this. He is counting on me being too shy or too pregnant to do anything. Tomorrow, I plan to blow this up in front of the entire family. We're supposed to have a casual get-together at our parents' house, ironically to celebrate my pregnancy announcement. I'll gather my phone logs, the screenshots, and all of those humiliating texts they send each other. Once all those relatives have settled in, I will put everything on display. No more secrets. I might burn everything in the process. I might lose any chance of a pleasant co-parenting scenario, but I feel like I have no other way to reclaim my dignity. I've been crying nonstop for days. My nerves are shot, and all I get from my fiance is either silent treatment or insults. My sister taunts me and acts like I am worthless. I see no reason to protect them anymore. I don't know what happens next. Maybe they'll run off together. Maybe they will lie or twist things around to make me look insane. My fiancé has not contributed much financially, so I worry about affording my daughter and this potential new baby on my own. Yet I cannot pretend everything is normal. I have to protect whatever self-respect I have left. I'm going to set my entire world on fire tomorrow. Part of me feels terrified. The other part is numb. Regardless, I am done letting them tiptoe around my heart. If they want my silence, they should have kept their betrayal better hidden. Let everyone see exactly who they are. That is all I have left. Top comments. Commenter 1, good luck with a sister like that. You don't need any enemies. Commenter 2, OMG, please make a PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides or whatever. You are going to want everybody to get a real good view of all the information you've gathered. Commenter 3, do you have any audio of them saying these things to you? Because I would definitely use that too. And have your whole family listen to the entire thing. Ideally without your sister or fiance present, so they can't twist it around on you like that. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, but your sister and hopefully soon ex-fiance are assholes and deserve everything that is coming to them. We have another update 2 days later. Oh my goodness. I mean, they deserve it. They deserve it. And the fact that they've been busted and all they're doing is threatening her to make her feel small so she'll be too afraid to say anything. That's it. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. All right, here's the next update 2 days later, January 15th, 25. I'm still reeling from what happened. After writing my last post, I spent hours debating with myself about whether I should really go through with exposing them at our family gathering. Please tell me you did it. A part of me was scared I would turn my whole life upside down forever, but I knew I couldn't keep letting them walk all over me while pretending everything was fine. I called my mom beforehand to let her know I was breaking up with him and to prepare her. When I arrived at my parents' house, everyone was already there, including my ex-fiance and my sister. My mother tried to pull me aside, whispering that we should talk first. I stayed calm, walked straight into the living room where everyone was sitting, and asked them to listen. They looked confused. My sister immediately rolled her eyes, and my fiancé mumbled something, probably hoping I would stay silent. I started reading the most shocking parts of the messages I found between the two of them. They mocked me, joked about me not noticing anything, and said I deserved this. I had timestamps proving he was sneaking around with my own sister while I was at home with my daughter. My sister stood up and accused me of lying, her voice defensive and low-pitched. But I just kept reading. The messages spoke for themselves. Defensive and low-pitched. Well, she got up. She's like, "You stop talking. I didn't do any of that. She's a liar."
She's Shredder?
Yes, she's Shredder. I revealed how he told her about my pregnancy before even discussing it with me, and how they laughed about my being stressed raising another child. My fiance tried to dismiss me, claiming I was overreacting and misinterpreting the situation because of my emotional pregnant state. He even blamed my mental health. By then, he stormed out of the room, and my sister started crying. My dad stared at the floor, silent, while my mother looked horrified. Finally, my sister snapped and stormed out, yelling that I was a dramatic liar who blew everything out of proportion. Now the fallout begins. My fiance, or rather my ex-fiance, has been texting me nonstop. One moment, he says he's sorry. The next, he blames me for humiliating him. He shows zero genuine remorse. He's just mad that I exposed him. My sister calls me a horrendous name, says I ruined her image, and refuses to take responsibility. She insists that I am making up drama. Honestly, I don't even know if they're still seeing each other or blaming each other for being caught. Either way, their secret is out, and that's all I wanted. I'm now talking to a lawyer because this man barely contributed financially before. I have to protect my daughter and ensure that I never have a child with him. Only the thought of raising 2 kids alone is terrifying. I feel numb and heartbroken at times, but I also feel a strange sense of relief. At least everybody knows the truth now. I exposed everything that day in the living room, but at least I am no longer being trampled on in silence. My sister and ex-fiancé can no longer laugh behind my back. Yes, things will probably get messy. They might lie to other relatives, people we mutually know, or twist the story, but I'm glad that I refuse to keep quiet. All I can do now is focus on the positive, talk to my lawyer, and move forward. It will be painful, but I will do everything in my power to build a new future on my own terms, far away from these people. Damn. Top comments here. Commenter 1, good for you. The new journey ahead will be less toxic, and the betrayers will have to deal with themselves. Best of luck to you. Commenter 2, I'm proud of you for going through with it. They hurt you. Intentionally. You owe them absolutely nothing. Anyone in your family or friend group who doesn't see it can f*** all the way off. Such an ultimate betrayal. You deserve peace and love and respect and safety. You'll find it. Keep going, OP. Damn. So immediately you have to think, yeah, I mean, this guy's a piece of shit for doing this. But you have to think that older sister who couldn't stand to see her younger sister be happy or get something that she wanted, went and enticed him. And yes, he's a brozo for letting it happen. They're both ask on one terrible people. But I have to think that she probably initiated this just to cause more pain because that's who she is as a person. If I were OP's dad in this situation and all of this was being spilled out in my home and this dickhead was standing there, I would not just be staring at the floor. I can tell you that much. I would have picked him up like a puppy nape of his neck, dragged his ass out the door, thrown him into the street, and then we'll just see what happens. Backing up a little bit in the story, when I heard OP talking about, I just hope he comes around. I hope he steps up and realizes, and I'm like, whoa. Hold on. Think about this for a minute in terms of the rest of your life. Like, when it matters most, at the big, scary moments, you've got somebody who's going to be an absolute coward and run. Is that the person that you want to do life with? Is that the person that you want to raise a child with? That's not him. That's not the person that you want to be a father figure for your child. And yes, you may not have a choice when it comes to that matter, but it doesn't sound like he's going to step up and take any responsibility at all. It's probably going to evade child support and do all that fun shit. Tater thoughts. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, Candy Thunder.
Listen, I was up really late last night.
Me too.
This man ruined an entire family, but he couldn't have done it if the sister didn't already have some kind of shit going on with her younger sister.
Yeah.
I love my sister, and I don't understand how you ever do that to someone. Like, I don't understand how you could ever look at your sister's significant other and be like, yeah, that's who I'm going to have sex with. That seems like a good idea. That's not going to cause any problems. And when she finds it out, I'm just going to gaslight her all to hell until she thinks that she's going crazy. Why? And this isn't the first story that we've read about something like this. This isn't the first time that inter-family affairs have happened. Find somebody else. At least step outside the family if you're going to do it, because it's a whole nother level. This man came in, and this is why single parents have to be so protective of their children, because people can come in and pretend to be something that they're not. Win the love and affection of your child, and children can willingly give that when somebody steps up to be there for them, and then they just destroy their entire world by walking out, by doing your sister. Like, it enrages my soul that he did this to not one child but two, and convinced her to stop her birth control, stopped using condoms. What the do you think is going to happen? That's how you make babies.
But why?
Literally.
Like, why would he do that? I kind of feel like he might have been bought in at some point here, and then older sister saw it and was like, I'm going to take that away, and twisted him. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense in my head. Like, what would he have to gain otherwise? He's just tethering himself to potential life or 18-year child support and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a lot of risk involved for him. There's no gain. If he was being fake, you know what I mean? I don't understand.
Or unless he said those things and then the sister found out that they could extend their family and saw an open opportunity or hunting season. I don't know. I don't know who went after who. But the fact that they were open to each other that makes them evil human beings.
Yep. Do it. For ex-fiance and older sister, that's terrible. That's just...
There you go. If he pulled away that easily, he never bought in.
Yeah.
That's true. If you can be swayed to leave a relationship, one that you convince someone to stop birth control in because you want a family, you weren't in it to begin with. You were just placating. You were just showing up and playing the game. That's it. You weren't actually in it. You don't actually love that person, because you would never do this to someone that you love. You just can't. It's not possible. Like, the thought of doing something like this to you would make me sick to my stomach. Like, it would make me physically sick. And you can't do this to people that you love.
No, there's no, yeah.
You can't do this to people that you respect.
Right. So the fact that it was possible means that he wasn't being honest in the first place here.
I really want to know if it was the sister that started this or if it was him.
I think it was her. I'm just based on their relationship.
Yeah. Based on the way she reacted, it makes me think it was her.
He only pulled out after he didn't pull out.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense.